Absolutely. Pat Brown, criminal profiler. You know, there's so many similarities here with the Casey Anthony case. Do people like her, or do people kind of copycat other crimes and try to cover it up on their own?
Absolutely, Vinny. This is, this is a Zinah Gonzalez ploy. And it's also, if you remember little baby Gabriel, I gave the baby to somebody. And then we have the three little boys that went missing up in Michigan. Daddy says, I gave them to somebody. Somebody's always giving away these children to somebody they do not know. They do not have their phone numbers. They do not have a place that they really live. We cannot find them. And clearly, it's a ploy just to simply buy time and to confuse the police and to keep the investigation rolling in the wrong direction, because these people know that in their way, time is very helpful to them if they can push it along. Because when you lose your child to a kidnapper, you need to find that child immediately within the first 3 hours to save the child. If you've done something to the child, you want time to go on and on and on before that child is found, because that will ruin all the evidence and you'll walk.
Chief Scott, I know there's evidence they're waiting to come back from SLED, the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division's lab. When do you expect that back?
I do know I've talked with the director of SLED. They're doing everything possible to get that to us as quick as possible. But as you know, we don't want to rush it because that information is crucial, and we need it to be right.
Stacey Honowitz, there are 3 different locations where this little boy could possibly be. South Carolina, Columbia possibly or thereabouts, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Atlanta, Georgia. She's on a holding charge basically right now, but what other charges could she face if and when, even if we never find this little boy?
Well, she's certainly going to face obstruction of justice charges, and she's certainly going to face some kind of neglect charges. I mean, you know, Mike, when you hear about these cases, you just say to yourself, I wish they would just... Listen, I don't know if she's involved. I would think by hearing what we're hearing and a mother who's stonewalling the police, there's some kind of involvement. When you tell a police officer, I don't have a child, and you really do, that really tips you off that there's an involvement there.
Yeah.
And so all of these people that are obstructing, all these mothers who have an involvement with a missing child, you know, give your child up for adoption. I mean, that's really, I mean, we hear these horrific, horrible stories. And so you're hoping that while she's in custody, that somehow somebody's able to break her, because if you're giving inconsistent stories, if you say you don't have a child, if you say I gave the child to somebody, like Pat said, you don't have that identification, there's an issue.